that there's one and only one biggest misconception about AI. I think there are many. I think people in general, on the one hand, overestimate what AI can do. For example, what exactly ChatGPT or something like that can do. I think this is an evolving concept. I mean, the modern discussion about AI has gone on for about 70 years or so, started in the 50s. And if you look at what's happened in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s onwards, the concept has evolved. I mean, in some periods, people were talking about certain technologies, certain techniques for processing information, and now everyone is talking about machine learning. But in the future, we may talk about something else. Some researchers say we should use mixed approaches, a little bit of rule-based, a little bit of machine learning. But the big message here is that AI isn't just one thing. It's a very broad category fit in which lots of different things fit, and we shouldn't get too hung up on any particular understanding of what we think AI is at the moment, because that might all change, and it has changed. I think the most important question in AI ethics right now, and also in the past, and maybe also moving into the future, is the question of human responsibility. If these technologies produce good outcomes, who exactly can take credit for that? Who is praiseworthy? The more we give over tasks to AI technologies, and the less we actually have to do ourselves, the more we have to worry about a sort of weakening of human responsibility. Well, the simple answer is yes. There's an urgency, partly because these technologies are being sort of released out into society before society has had a chance to think about whether we want them, for what purposes we want them, who should be allowed to use them, how should they be allowed to be used. We are in an educational context. All universities all over the world are now thinking about what things should the students be allowed to do using generative AI, which things shouldn't they be allowed to do. Different faculties within my own university, for example, have different policies about this, and my faculty will be working on a policy. So generative AI is creating all these kinds of problems and challenges for people, and it was just released out into society as a kind of big social experiment. And whenever there's an experiment, usually people are supposed to consent to it, be informed, and think about it first before they enter the experiment. But here we are in this big, in a certain sense, non-consensual experiment. Generative AI can do a lot of good, but it can also cause a lot of problems. Yeah, great question. I think the role of academia when it comes to ethics, on the one hand, when it comes to governments of AI, on the other hand, might be rather different in a certain sense. Governing AI, I guess, is the job of our elected representatives in a democratic society. Of course, they should ideally be informed by research about all aspects of AI, not just the technical, but also the social, ethical, legal aspects. And that is something that academics are very well placed and situated to do. You sometimes hear big tech companies saying that they are the ones that have expertise about how AI works, and they are the ones developing these technologies, and so they should be regulating these things. And they are also hiring people to work on ethics. All the big tech companies are doing that. But on the other hand, those ethics researchers that work for those companies are restrained and constrained in a way that we academic researchers aren't. When I write ethics books or papers, I don't have to give that to my company. My universities ask for their approval. I have academic freedom. If I were working for one of the big tech companies, I would have to show my ethics research and get approval first. And that has a constraining effect, at least to some degree.